Hey everyone, so today I'm looking at picking techniques. So first thing, I guess how you hold your pick. I hold mine between my index finger and my thumb. So there's a couple of different ways you can do it, but a lot of them is down to personal preference. And I see a lot of players kind of hold their pick in a few different ways. My kind of starting off point would be just to hold your index finger out in front of you like that, bend it in towards you, and then place your pick on top. So the point of the pick is facing out from your fingernail. So grab it with your thumb, and then this pointy bit of the pick, that's the bit that makes contact with the strings. Yeah. So when I hold my pick, I only have a very, very small amount of the pick showing. I don't know if you can see that there. So if I've got too much of it, you have to grip it much, much tighter. It gets loose in your hand and it'll just drop. Yeah. So having a small amount. So when it comes to picking, that's personally kind of one of the ways I hold my pick, depending on what I'm doing, or sometimes a bit looser, but it's always kind of which side of my index finger it's held on. And there's a few different times when, depending on what I'm doing, what string I'm on, it might kind of move about. But generally, there's not a lot of the pick showing, so I'm close to the strings, and it's just kind of locked nicely in between those two. So the next point is when you've got that, you don't need to grip your pick too tight. If you hold your pick really tight, so this is like a bigger one, so more the normal size ones that you guys will be using. If you hold it too tight, it's really jarring kind of against the strings, whereas you want it nice and relaxed in your fingers. So that being said, let's get to some picking. So we've got a couple of different types of pick. So we can obviously have down picking. We pick the string down towards the floor, pick upwards, and then we can swap between them, so alternate pick. So when I do this, there's a few different things that I think about. One, it's just kind of getting the pick to brush nicely over the string like that. Again, if you go in too deep, you've got to hop over the string, and it's kind of, you find your hand making quite a big move, and it's quite difficult. And then the other thing that I see a lot is how you kind of go about picking. So for me, there's two ways to kind of do this when you're starting off. One way is by bracing, so by dropping some fingers. It doesn't have to be all of them, it could be some of them, on the guitar when you're picking. If you've got a big guitar and a big sound hole, if you're picking the lower strings, you might want to drop some fingers onto the lower strings, like that, sorry, on the higher strings like that. But the idea is it should be very, very comfortable. Yeah. I personally don't actually pick like this. I pick kind of a bit more freer. So you can kind of rest this part of your hand above here, and that's a nice way to kind of pick. But the main thing that I see is people often use their whole arm to do the picking motion, and of course that's a very big range of movement, and it's very, very hard to play accurately like that because your whole arm is moving. So when I'm doing it, it's just this small wrist movement. Yeah, or with the brace, same thing, it's all the wrist. Yeah, cool, I hope that helps.